What's good, Ken Gonda? It's your boy O'Shea Duke Jackson back at it again. And today we have a very, very special interview. Now, I know a lot of brothers and sisters in the diaspora, from the African American community, the Jamaican community, the Caribbean community. A lot of us don't know who our ancestors are. But today we have a solution. We have an interview with Brother Drake Reed over at the Sankofa Global Exchange. And he found his African American roots that linked all the way to Mali. And he's here today to show you exactly how to do that. Sister African Tigress did the interview for me because my internet was a little shoddy. But we're going to talk about how African Americans can find their roots, the Caribbean family, all the diaspora family that want to know where they're located in West Africa. So let's get into the interview.
Hello, welcome to the Kenganda channel. Today we're going to host someone who's going to tell us more about genealogy and why it is important to know your ancestry and know where you are coming from. So without further ado, let us invite our guest. Hello.
Hey, how you doing?
I'm good. What about you?
I'm doing well. I'm doing well. Having a great morning.
All right, you can start by introducing yourself.
Well, my name is Drake Reed. I'm from St. Louis, Missouri, and I am a genealogist and also a professional basketball player. And I've learned about my ancestral roots through playing basketball in Europe more so than anywhere else. And that led me to finding my ancestors in Mali. And now I show other people how to find their ancestral villages and their genealogy as well.
Oh, that's quite interesting. So how long have you been doing this? How long have you been doing genealogy?
I've been doing genealogy for about 6 years, 6 years consistently. But my journey towards my ancestors started 11 years ago.
Okay, so maybe for those who don't know, you could tell us briefly what genealogy is.
So genealogy is finding your ancestral roots. So for some people, their roots are in Europe, some in South America, some in Africa. But for people of African descent, it's Africa.
Okay, and how did you start on this? How did you say you started 6 years ago? What inspired you to start on this?
Well, what really inspired me was a sequence of things that happened. The first thing was when I started playing in France when I was 23 years old. I started off playing in Australia first, but nothing major really happened there. But when I got to France, the majority of my teammates are from Africa. They're from Guinea, they're from Mali, and Senegal, and Cote d'Ivoire, and a lot of other African countries as well. And so being around those guys, it made me look at myself a little differently. I had a lot of questions. They had a lot of questions for me. They would ask me things about, our situation in the States, and I would ask them things about Africa and seeing how they related to one another, how they treated each other in relationships, and how they handled conflicts and things. It was just way different than anything I'd ever seen at the time. And two things really started getting me on this track. One, I had a Senegalese teammate that basically he asked me, he said, "Man, what's this racism thing I keep hearing about?" And I just couldn't believe that someone, that dark skin just didn't know about slavery or racism, because he was probably one of the prime, people getting treated badly. So I started breaking it down to him and explaining, how things are and have been in America. And he was like, "Man, that sounds terrible. I never heard anything like that." And when he
Mm-hmm.
said to me, I think he was 18 or 19 at the time, and I was a little older than him. But I just, it stunned me. And I was like, man, what would my life be like if I didn't know about those type of things? What type of restraints had I put on myself, unknowingly, because I had this information. And then another teammate of mine, he asked me, why do you guys say you're African Americans? And I said, I started breaking. I thought he was joking. I thought he was and he said, no, I'm serious. So I started breaking it down to him and explaining, some of the things that happened in the States. And he said, man, it's a shame. It's a shame that you don't know who you are. And he was like, because I'm from Senegal, and and he started, explaining his roots, and I was just like, man, I felt really bad at that point. And it's like, man, am I messed up? So those are the first two things that really made me start to pay attention a lot more. And that, along with living in different countries other than France, I would always get in these situations with people outside of basketball, and it's like they knew who I was, but I didn't. So I would get in certain situations that I would get the bad end of the stick, and so after a while, I was like, man, this whole origin piece, I got to figure that out. So I really dove into it midway through my career.
Oh, okay. So, what steps did you take? So, you started the company. You're like, how did you get now into doing the business?
Well, over the years, really, as far as starting the business, over the years, people have asked me because I'm naturalized Malian now, so I have dual citizenship. So the information and things that I've gained have really led to me getting citizenship. So people, naturally, as an athlete, a lot of guys, if you have a dual citizenship, it helps you out in your career because you'll be counted as an African player or a European player or whichever passport you end up getting. So a lot of guys would ask me, and then through just having different conversations with people, people would want to know more about their roots and ask me how do I do this, how do I do that. So I started explaining some things, and people have had a lot of success from some of the things that I've shared with them. So during this lockdown, I had the time to sit down and do my father's side of the family because I'd already completed my mother's side, and I was able to finish his side in a week. Every branch, from his mother's father, his mother's mother's branch, his father's father's branch, his father's mother's branch, like everyone. So down to the people that came from Africa, the years that they came from Africa, their voyages, and so I have the hang of it, and I have a great system that I'm confident that will get everyone the results they're looking for.
Okay. So, your company is Sankofa Global Exchange, right?
Yes.
And what makes you different or unique than all these other companies that are doing genealogy and ancestry tests?
Well, I think the main thing is most people just offer one specialty. So some people just offer DNA testing. Some people just offer, census records, and other people, everyone has their twist and their little twist. But what I've done is I've gathered all this information as well as some other things that people are not necessarily familiar with, and I've been able to locate my ancestral village, and I'm confident that I can locate others. And that is a really big piece because I remember when I got my DNA results back, and on my father's side it says we're Crew, we're Liberian Crew, and so I was showing it to one of my aunts, and she said, "Okay, well this is interesting, but what do I do with it?" And at the time I really didn't know, but over the years, from being around other African people and there's systems and there's things in place that people of every nationality take advantage of because they know their origins. It's so many different pipelines and things that really help you financially in business. There's things that can help you politically, and most people in the states that are of African descent, and not just from the states, we have a lot of Afro Caribbeans and people from South America as well that were also affected by the Atlantic slave trade. And there's so many things we can do once we know exactly where we're from, and there's just so much power in that. You see someone, you might get the results back, and let's say it says you're from Congo or from Cameroon or something. Okay, well, you don't know your tribe, and then that's another portion of it. That's like, are you from California or are you from New York? It's the same country, but which area, and that also determines what your situation was in that country, what your ancestors experienced, and so it's so many different twists and turns, but I understand them all, and I'm ready to be of service.
Okay, so for you, you've done for yourself and your family members. So how has that been of help to you?
Um, for me, it's been a tremendous help. I mean, the confidence that I have now is just is bigger than it's ever been, um, and in a great way. I know that I can achieve much more than what I've ever thought was possible. When you know who your ancestors were, and you know that they are with you, and you know their highest levels of achievement. Now I know that slavery was just one chapter in a 20 chapter book, and the rest of the book is pretty awesome. And Um, when I explain these things, and I had an opportunity at my family reunion to break everything down and show everyone exactly where we're from and what we did before slavery, and just to see the stress and the trauma come off people's mind, right in front of my eyes, the tears of joy. I mean, it was powerful. And now we have a new foundation, and there's only one way to go now, and that's up.
So have you been able to meet some of your relatives?
Well, I was before this lockdown, I had everything set up to go back to Mali and to go and to go see about doing that. And this whole Corona thing really kind of slowed me down. So once that's over, I'll get back to where I was finishing off. But that is the ultimate, to be able to locate somebody, and I think I'm pretty close to that.
So, since you already had the details of the village, and maybe you have some names and all that, have you been able to like really contact anybody, be in touch, or someone tell like someone on the ground to tell you actually this person existed or lived here, and these are the descendants? Have you been able to get in touch with anyone from Mali?
I've been to Mali 3 times, and I've been to the villages. I've been met the chiefs. I've met a lot of powerful people there that have really taught me everything from beginning to modern day, and it just filled me up. It was so deep. I've been to 6 African countries total, and just the whole way I ended up going to Mali was just a total surprise. Once you start tapping into, well, I always tell people now, when you start looking for your ancestors, they start looking for you. So all these hunches and all these intuitive things start happening, and that leads you directly to where you're supposed to be.
Oh, okay. And how was the reception when you got to Mali and you told them maybe you're looking for your relatives and all that? How was the reception?
It was I mean, open arms, because the first thing they do is they try to check you. They try to see, like, is this guy coming over here just to, you're a tourist, or you know I remember when I was speaking to the chief for the first time, and he's like, how do you know you Mali? And I started to break down my entire experience. I have at least 100 to 150 things that have happened leading up to that point, uh, that confirmed that I was in the right location. And it's like, he thought about it for a second. As I was telling him, he stopped me after a while. He said, "Okay, you're one of us. I know it." And then he started breaking everything down, the whole history from beginning to from the very beginning to now. And from that moment on, things didn't stop. Every month, every few weeks, something else major would happen, and I would find out more things. And it's still evolving. We found dozens of family members we didn't know existed. We found, the actual routes and stuff that they went through the Caribbean. We found all these different pipelines. It's incredible, and I'm so excited every day when I wake up to learn more.
Are you just in the US or you also have branches in other places across the globe?
Well, the good thing is, because we have the internet, I can do everything online. So when I'm overseas, I can do it there. When I'm in the States, I can do it here. It doesn't really matter where I'm located at. I can get it done as long as I get into the computer. And it's for anyone of African descent that was affected by any slave trade. So, a lot of us in America, we only focus on African Americans because that's our fight, that's our story. But we also have a lot of people from the Caribbean. We have a lot of people in South America that were also affected by the slave trade. We're always taught in America that's the triangular trade, but it's not a triangular trade. It's a quintuple trade. It's five continents. It's five areas that were involved. You have the Caribbean, you have America, North America, you have Europe, Africa, and South America. And being able to play in France in particular, I'm on the team with guys from every area. I have teammates from Africa that was born on the continent, born in Europe, born in America, born in the Caribbean, and born in South America. And I'm able to understand everyone so much more intimately because of having so much time spent with everybody, and also doing this research.
Okay. So for, let's say, Black British, they should be able. How can they be able to contact you? Let me see someone is in Britain and they want to contact you, or maybe someone is in somewhere in Asia and they are interested in doing, will they have to travel to America for
No,
that? Or
no.
what would be
So
required? What would be the requirement?
the requirement is that so basically we'll be offering two classes, a basic and an advanced. Okay, and the basic class will get you roughly 50 to 60% of your ancestral history. That will be a series of four classes that will be once every Sunday in October, and then for the advanced class it'll be once a week every Sunday in November. And what we're going to do is we're going to be teaching how to how to accomplish this. So I'm going to go step by step as to what needs to be done for you to locate your ancestral village. And once you get to the point where you can get to your ancestral village, okay, we're not just going to get you that, we're going to get you everything in between as well. So who was this ancestor that came to America? Anything that can be humanly found, anything that's humanly possibly found, we're going to find it. We're going to help you find it. And so we're going to offer two classes, and it'll all be on the internet. We'll have video conferences, and you'll be able to, pay on the website, and then be able to join us on the conference, and we'll go step by step, and I'm going to show you, how to get it done.
Okay. So I get that. So, and why is it important for someone to find out about? Why would you advise someone to find out about their DNA? Do you use DNA?
Well,
No.
that's a fact. See, DNA will be a fraction of it. So you will be a prerequisite for our basic classes that you need to have a DNA test done, but it needs to be one with your tribe. So you need to know, you need to have a DNA, you need to have that, know the country, you need to know the tribe. So that's a prerequisite. And, that's pretty much it. You need to know that. And other than that, you'll be fine in our class.
So why would you advise somebody to do the genealogy test?
You need to know because, just like I was explaining a little earlier, you might be from the USA, but are you Irish American? Are you Jewish American? Are you African American? Are you Native? Knowing the tribe is of vital importance because it explains your experience. And it's going to connect a lot more dots than if you tell someone, okay, you're from Cameroon. Well, there's probably a dozen tribes in Cameroon. So which area were you in? Not only that, what language did you speak? Um, and are you even from that area? So it's things like that.
All right, Drake, thank you for sharing. How can people contact you, and where can they get more information about you?
You can contact us on sankofaglobalexchange.com, and that's SANKOFA globalexchange.com. Okay, and that website will show you everything that you need to know. You can also add us on Instagram and Facebook at The Ancestors Way. Okay, Facebook and Instagram at The Ancestors Way. And if you have any other questions, you can email us at info@sankofaglobalexchange.com.
All right, thank you so much for your time. Looking forward to checking it out. Wait, can I also do it? Can
Yeah.
I do a test?
I mean, well, you already know where you're from, right?
But there was also a lot of migration within the continent.
Okay. Well,
Because like for me, I know some of my people came from the Congo Basin.
so you don't necessarily know all of your ancestral history, huh?
What we just learned in school is like we came from around the Congo Basin, the Congo area. Like the Bantu people, mostly they came from that region. So that's how that's that's why I know. I wonder if, as an African, growing up in Kenya, knowing both my parents, great grandparents, and all that are Kenyans, but having learned that years ago they actually moved from a certain place, and there are some also people in Kenya who moved from the northern region, from Egypt, Sudan, and all that. So I wonder if we did our test, what it would be like.
Yeah, because you never really know. One thing I've learned from doing my paternal side is there's a lot of twists and turns. On my paternal side, we have Sierra Leone, we have Liberia, we have Cameroon, and it's just so many twists and turns. So that can happen in Africa as well. Right now you might be a Fulani, but maybe your grandfather, was a Mandinka, or maybe before that somebody was a Kru. Like you just don't know. because you weren't there. But that DNA is going to tell it.
All right, interesting. Maybe I would also consider trying that out and just see what it turns out for me.
Yeah, well, what's a call and let us know your situation, and we'll put it together.
All right, thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right. So thank you so much for watching this episode. I hope you learned something. And if you are interested in finding out about your genealogy, your ancestry, and all that, I'm going to leave it in the comment section. I'm going to leave his address so that you can be able to contact him. So until next time, kwaheri.
So family, I hope you enjoyed that. Please go over and visit sankofaglobalexchange.com. It's right here at the top of the screen. And check that out, right? Check out his site. Definitely, he's a good friend of mine. He's a personal friend of mine. He's appeared on several podcasts already about this. Find out how to trace your genealogy. Because as an African community, especially us as African Americans, we don't know where we come from, right? And it's very good to know how you can do it the right way. So guys, subscribe, hit the bell. It's your boy O'Shea Duke Jackson, back at it again. King Ghana forever, guys. And we out.